Okay, so Donald Trump had another one of these rallies that he has restarted over the 4th of July weekend. I covered it live, and tomorrow, actually, hopefully later today, I'm going to lay out what I think will happen if Donald Trump does indeed run in 2024. I happen to think that Joe and Kamala are in real trouble if Trump runs in 24. I know that there are some in the audience who disagree with me and some that vehemently do agree. We'll get to that later. But in terms of the rallies themselves, they're truly horrifying. I mean, every time I cover one of these rallies, I get dozens of emails, especially from foreign viewers saying, David, what is happening in the United States? These rallies are dangerous. This one was in Florida, Trump admitting to crimes during them, by the way. We'll get to that. Of course, telling completely corrosive, easily debunkable lies about American democracy. And the crowd, it's not even notable to say the crowd believes it. There's not even the possibility that the crowd might question anything they're told at these rallies. And that's very scary. Does the crowd have what we would call an illness? I'm increasingly unsure what we even call what these folks are suffering from. So let's just start with Trump confessing to crimes during the speech. Trump's business, his organization, and Trump's CFO, Alan Weisselberg, have been indicted. Part of these charges relate to allegedly avoiding taxes by having Donald Trump directly pay for stuff for his CFO over a 15-year period. Tons of stuff, tons of money. And Trump admits, even if only to part of the stuff, saying not paying taxes on your company car or your grandkids' education. The allegation is Trump would directly pay for Weisselberg's grandkids' educations, which really should be income Weisselberg pays tax on, and he's accused of not paying tax on that. That's what they're accused of, and Trump's admitting it here. Take a look at this.
And yet they go after good, hardworking people for not paying taxes on a company car. Company car. You didn't pay tax on the car. Or a company apartment. You used an apartment because you need an apartment because you have to travel too far where your house is. You didn't pay tax. Or education for your grandchildren. I don't even know. Do you have to? But does anybody know the answer to that stuff? Okay.
So Trump admitting to it, and the crowd barely has any idea what Trump is even talking about, but Trump is confessing to the crimes that they have been charged with in this case. This actually helps him and his followers. If he just admits to it in public, this has been his strategy for a long time. You admit to it in public. Trump says it definitely shouldn't be illegal. The fact that there's a law against this is me being a victim of something. And his followers just get on his side 110%, even though he's admitting to crimes. When others say, listen, okay, drugs, fine, but that really shouldn't be a crime. These law and order right-wingers say, but it is. And law and order means if something's a crime, you have to be punished for it. When Trump says, is this stuff even a crime? It shouldn't be a crime. Then they're with him 100%. And Trump even pointing out during this speech, the strategy that he uses. If you keep repeating lies to your followers will start to believe them. Trump talks about it as if it's applicable to Democrats, but it's actually exactly what he does. Take a look at this.
All of a sudden, they said today, I heard, and there's a word, disinformation. It's called if you say it enough and keep saying it, just keep saying it, they'll start to believe you. We can't let that happen. Because now they're saying the Republicans wanted to defund the police. I said,
This is why half or more of Trump's followers still to this day believe that he won the 2020 election because Trump and others keep repeating it. Trump then paints himself as a victim, if you can believe it, and he brings up Hillary Clinton. Yeah, it's 2021. We're halfway through 2021. He's bringing up Hillary Clinton stuff from 2015 and earlier. Look at this.
From Ukraine, from China. They didn't go after Hillary Clinton and her foundation. They didn't touch her. They leave Democrats alone no matter how bad they are, but they've mobilized every power of government to come after me, my family, my wonderful employees, and my company solely because of politics.
So Trump, as usual, the biggest victim of anybody. You'll see later in the show his children also painting themselves as just the perpetual, endless victims. Now, then it goes totally off the rails. Trump gets back on the statues stuff, and he claims without any evidence that Democrats want to replace the Jefferson Memorial with a statue of Al Sharpton, which is baseless, first of all. It strikes me as probably racist in some way, although I'm trying to figure out exactly all of the ways in which it is. Take a look at this clip.
They want to take the statue of Thomas Jefferson out and replace it with somebody. By the way, let me tell you, you're not going to be happy with the person they want to replace him with. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Jefferson is being removed from the Jefferson Memorial and being replaced with the Reverend Al Sharpton. I don't think so.
So it's also really stupid. I mean, I wouldn't want an Al Sharpton statue replacing the Jefferson Memorial, and I'm on the left. So it's just like layers upon layers of dumb gaslighting. And then, of course, no Trump rally is complete without the slurring part of the evening. I won't spend a lot of time on this. The speech went nearly 2 hours, clearly way too long for Trump. And as the sweat poured, the slurring ramped up. Here's Trump saying that our ancestors crushed fascism. Take a look.
Our ancestors just absolutely crushed fascism beneath the weight.
So an absolutely absurd event. These apparently are going to continue. I think that this is part of Trump's plan to build himself up and build up his influence going into 2022. And because, normally I won't talk about an election that's not the next one. But I'm actually going to break my own rule later on in today's show, because what Trump is doing now is as much about 2024 as it is about 2022, and you really can't talk about one without talking about the other. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But next, what I want to go to is to show you some interviews with Trump supporters that went to this rally in Sarasota, Florida, which is arguably even scarier than the things Trump said himself. So let's get to that next. Do not forget that one of the best ways to support the David Pakman Show is by supporting our awesome sponsors. And today, one of those sponsors is Sheath Underwear. The weather is warming up. It's hotter. It's stickier out there. And unfortunately for many of us, that comes with a lot of sticking and rubbing and chafing with traditional underwear. That is what Sheath Underwear has solved. Sheath has developed unique boxer briefs with multiple ergonomic compartments in the front, preventing skin-on-skin contact. That means everything stays separate, dry, cool, and comfortable. With Sheath Underwear, there is no more sweating, no more chafing, no more readjusting. It's great. Sheath Underwear is giving the David Pakman Show audience 20% off when you go to sheathunderwear.com/Pakman and use the promo code Pakman. Give Sheath Underwear a try. My experience has been great. I believe yours will be as well. You can find the link underneath this video, and do not forget to use that promo code Pakman for 20% off.